Apple competes with Microsoft. Amazon competes with Google. That's how capitalism is supposed to work. But what happens when the same investors own large pieces of all of them? Open Apple's shareholder report. Now Microsoft's, then Amazon's. The same names appear near the top: BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. By the end of this video, you'll see why that changes how modern capitalism actually works. BlackRock manages over $10 trillion, not profit, assets. Money it manages for retirement accounts, pensions, and index funds. It doesn't build products, it owns exposure. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla. If you invest through an ETF, there's a good chance your money flows through BlackRock somewhere in the chain. Because when you buy the market, you buy the structure, and structure compounds. Here's the shift. Companies compete, but the biggest investors often own shares in all of them. The CEOs compete. The capital collects. That changes incentives. When the same investors hold stakes across an industry, they don't benefit from one company crushing another. They benefit when the industry grows, from stability, from steady returns. Not because of secret meetings, because exposure shapes priorities. In the past, power came from building the biggest company. Today, power comes from owning pieces of many. Not domination, positioning. And this didn't happen through takeover. It happened through investing. As trillions flowed into index funds, ownership became more concentrated. Slowly, structurally. Large investors don't run companies day to day, but they vote, they influence boards, they shape executive pay, they guide long-term direction. Ownership is quieter than control, but it lasts longer. Think about airlines. If the same big investors own shares in competing airlines, they don't gain from chaos, they gain from stability. The same logic applies to banks, energy, tech. Competition still exists, but ownership sits above it. That's the layer most people miss. The faces of capitalism are founders and CEOs. Behind them sits capital, and that capital has become concentrated. So what happens when competing companies share the same biggest investors? Competition doesn't disappear, it shifts. The brands fight in public. The capital builds position in private. Companies compete. Ownership compounds. Modern capitalism didn't stop being competitive. It became layered. And the top layer is ownership. That's where leverage lives.